Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get into gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies because I found some interesting things about both gold and crypto. Very, very interesting. We will get into that. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings in their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right. Gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free half ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. Also, for those of you looking for my address, here it is right here. You know, I got this alternative website. I encourage people to go over there. There's a lot of information dealing with the jab. A lot of it very important. A lot of it not allowed on to YouTube. I encourage you to come on over there and check it out. It's $3 a month and all proceeds go to finding life's purpose. $3 for an entire month to watch unlimited videos. Don't forget to go over and show some love and support to Wall Street Silver. They have both a YouTube channel as well as a Reddit page. The links for both are down below. We'll already notice a trend. The thing that gets me about cryptocurrencies is this. They all move together. See this? Why? If each one of them is a separate function to have their own thing, why do they all move together? You can see the graph right here that all of a sudden they all dropped around the same time with a couple of exceptions. Gold took a pretty good hit this morning around the same time the cryptos did, and so did silver. Definitely something going on. I don't like when we see that. So we're now into October. That's right, silver contracts. Remember I was talking about, I think, the last of the short contracts for silver. I don't know the total number outstanding, but we're going to see what kind of delivery happens in October. But going into the new year, it's going to be very interesting to see once the Basel III is implemented, as well as in London. It's everywhere else now but London for some strange reason. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's where the largest bullion banks are. So they're still able to manipulate this as much as possible. The reason for silver being smashed down this much is for this month's contracts. So we're going to see what happens when it takes off this month. Cryptocurrency. This is usually the time when alt season happens and coins start to take off. Bitcoin, over the last 8 years, we saw a trend in which 6 to 8 years going into September usually is a bear market, which means the value goes down. But this year, every trend for the months throughout the year, Bitcoin has done the opposite. So if this is supposed to be a bear market for September, and every month it's consistently done the opposite, well, then you can imagine if the trend continues, this should be a bull. Ethereum, I don't know what's happening. Ethereum got up to about 39 and just sat there for the longest time. Didn't even move. But when everything else dropped, so did Ethereum, just a little. So somewhere around, 7:44 in the morning, BST time, it started to drop. This is what happened with all the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin actually got up to 52,700, almost 53,000 again. And then my guess is that these are sell-offs. A lot of people just trying to grab some quick profits. It's going to be a very interesting time between now and the beginning of next year when it comes to cryptocurrencies as well as gold and silver. So I told everybody, I just don't trust our government to not get in there and just all of a sudden make it illegal or interfere somehow in the markets. The fact that JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are now buying into cryptocurrencies means you guys would suffer the same kind of issues that gold and silver have, manipulation. But I didn't think cryptocurrencies would last very long until I went to the World Economic Forums. And they also are starting to notice something when it comes to cryptocurrencies, that it's very popular, and the more popular it becomes, the harder it is for them to deny it as a use. That means they're embracing it. And if the World Economic Forum is embracing cryptocurrencies, then obviously they're not going to end it. Although they haven't acknowledged that there's going to be countries trying to outlaw cryptocurrencies, and I still think that's a chance here. But the fact that the World Economic Forum is accepting it to the point where now they say that all rules and regulations should be done out of the IMF or the World Bank. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations on that one. Now you're so popular that you now have central banks, George Soros, the IMF, and the World Bank about to be involved in cryptocurrencies. I'm going to tell you what I learned about the cryptocurrencies on the World Economic Forums, but first let's just go through a couple of things. So it says gold slips as uptick in yields, dollar bent appeals. Why? We know the dollar's slipping. We know inflation's increasing. So this is just BS. So it's talking about the strength of the dollar. What strength of the dollar? Now I know why they're printing so many dollars. They'll just claim again that government doesn't know how to manage money and their policies have been terrible and they're bad people. We probably should think about going to a one world government who will oversee our monetary policies. Every time we see something in the news that pulls on your emotions when it comes to what's going on in politics, don't accept that 100% as face value. A lot of it is being staged right now. They're trying to make us hate media, politics, the banking system, hate the fiat dollar system, hate police officers, because they got a system for that as well. So that we're so pissed off and so upset. And we're so desperate for money because these people mismanage everything that will accept the World Economic Forum or the New World Order agenda to move into this new one world government, or they'll just call it some kind of bureau is what they're going to call it. So of unelected individuals who will dictate our monetary policies and procedures. Gold and silver is your safe haven, a true safe haven, but there's something interesting coming up. Gold prices fell on Tuesday, retreating further from a 2.5-month peak last week, as a firmer dollar and a rise of the U.S. Treasury yield dented demands for safe havens. No, remember, it didn't dent the demand. What they tell you is, oh, look at spot gold was down 0.5%. How did it get down? Well, when they used the market to manipulate the prices, giving you one impression. Look, everybody, there's a mass sell-off on paper gold or paper silver. It's causing the markets to be saturated with gold and silver. The spot price goes down. Don't fall for that. It's paper market. It's not the real market for gold and silver. We take advantage like they do. When they drive the value down, we buy on the dip. So when it goes down like this, like it's low right now, buy. Think cost average. In other words, if I bought 100 ounces of gold at $10 an ounce, and then later on I bought another 100 ounces of gold at $20 an ounce, that means I have 200 ounces of gold. But how much did I pay for it? Well, I paid 10 at one time and I paid 20 at the other, but that's not the cost average. If you take them and you add them together and you divide it by the number of purchases, which is 2, you can get your cost average, which is $15. You take the $20 and the $10, add them together, divided by the number of times you purchase, which is 2, gives you $15 on average for your 200 ounces of gold. So you might have paid a little bit more earlier, but now you could buy it when it's cheaper, lowering your overall average. India's August gold imports nearly doubled as prices dip ahead of the festivals. When I saw this, and I said this before in other videos, a trivial question asking us, who owns the most gold? And I was thinking, oh man, it has to be the United States. No, women from India, most of it in accessories, bracelets, rings, you name it. The Indian culture and the traditions, they have a lot of different ceremonies in which they wear a lot of different outfits. And so the gold is used as an accessory. India's gold imports in August nearly doubled from a year earlier to the highest of 5 months. Remember, India just recently allowed their citizens to buy gold and silver again. It was outlawed for a little while. So now they're buying a ton of it. Again, only adding to the metal shortage that we are already experiencing that we don't talk about anymore for some strange reason. So it says higher imports by the world's second biggest bullion consumer could support benchmark gold prices, which have corrected nearly 12% from an all-time high of 2072 in August of 2020. The surge in imports could increase India's trade deficit and pressure the rupee. This is why they manipulate the prices, so it doesn't pressure our dollar. India imported 121 tons of gold in August, compared to 63 tons a year ago. In value terms, August imports surged 6.7 billion from 3.7 a year ago. Nice. So as you can see, this is only going to add to the shortage. Look down here. India's gold imports for the first 8 months of 2021 tripled to 687 tons from a lower base of 2020. The country's gold imports in September could rise above 80 tons from 12 tons a year ago. We got India adding to the demand for precious metals. So we did a video in which James had this cool chart. He was explaining something, and there was talk about the real value of silver. But with this chart is very similar. Money Metals had an article about it too, but they did this back in March. Okay, so what this chart is showing you here, see this blue line? Going all the way back to 1970. It's just a sample of the manipulation of the market. Had you bought gold at the close of the New York market every day and sold it when it opened, you would have seen profits like this. This over here, black line, represents doing the opposite. Buying gold in the morning and selling it at the close. If you are buying gold at the close and selling it when it opens, that means, again, you're dealing with the overseas markets and you see profits then, and then all of a sudden it drops first thing in the morning. This is what that chart represents, is that manipulation that happens in the markets. That if since 1970, if you just bought silver when it closed and sold it when it opened, just that mere task, you profited big time. Okay, that's what that chart was showing. And this would be somebody doing the opposite. And that is doing what a normal person does, purchase when it opens, maybe sell when it closes. Anyways, I thought this article is very interesting. I'll leave the link for it. I encourage you to come check it out. It said, I like how Money Metals put this. This window will continue until a critical mass of people trading in futures realize they likely can't get delivery of the actual metal. Or that's why I think it's interesting when people all the time go, oh, look at precious metals aren't valuable at all. Yes, they are. We've been under the control of criminals for a long time. Anyways, I want to get into showing you what I've been looking into and why it is now I think cryptocurrencies will be around. That's not 100%, but there's reason to believe. So this is an older article, but it says Coinbase to invest $500 million in crypto, channel part of its profits into digital assets. The company shared that it is committing to investing $500 million of its cash and cash equivalents towards crypto investment. Moreover, 10% of the quarterly net income will also go into a diverse portfolio of crypto assets. Now, the reason why they're doing this, and talk about Coinbase. Again, Coinbase is reliant that cryptocurrencies are around, so that makes sense. But the other part of it is by investing into it, you're also helping assist in keeping the market alive. So it says a U.S.-based cryptocurrency exchange, Coinbase, has received the board's approval to purchase over $500 million of crypto to add to its existing holding. This is smart what they're doing. This is going to assist in keeping cryptocurrencies alive. But here's the issue that I have with the fact that Coinbase even has a portfolio. They are a crypto exchange. This would be a conflict of interest. And what I mean by that is, what's to keep them from lying about what they're reporting and either devaluing or increasing the value of the cryptos they hold in their own portfolio? Now, this is interesting. See, Bitcoin hater Warren Buffett invests $500 million in a digital bank offering crypto products. According to the World Economic Forum, one of the biggest issues for cryptocurrencies and why it is volatility in the market is the fact that they don't have a central bank. You see, what they want is a central bank that's going to manage cryptocurrency. Again, they're going to allow the IMF, the World Bank, and most likely the BIS to regulate and set policies and procedures for the new cryptocurrency banking industry. Since the World Economic Forum said that the thing that's lacking in cryptocurrencies is a so-called central bank. Now, we do know that there is Kraken, I believe, is the first crypto bank. But these people are talking about a central bank. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, has made a $500 million investment in the parent company of a privately held digital bank, Nubank, which has been offering cryptocurrency investment products to its users. According to the CNBC, Nubank is a private bank based in Brazil that was founded in 2013 and has roughly 40 million customers. The company's CEO has revealed an initial public offering is currently being planned. The $500 million investment is notable, as Buffett is a well-known Bitcoin critic who has in the past called cryptocurrencies a gambling device and argued that they are worthless because they don't produce anything. The investor has made a similar case against gold. I think it's interesting that in the World Economic Forum papers, they said the thing that is needed in the crypto market is a central bank. And now all of a sudden Warren Buffett is investing into a bank that deals with cryptocurrencies. So here's one of the issues that I'm having with what's going on with this new world order agenda that's being pushed called the Great Reset. They want us all to have IDs, digital IDs. They're also going to incorporate what they call artificial intelligence, AI, of course, but also machine learning. We're learning more and more that AI, the artificial intelligence, demonstrates bias, and it's actually racist, believe it or not. Centralized data, decentralized authority. A system of global identities would need to rely on technology and automation to manage the records generated, but in devising a digital identity system, architects must keep a tight rein on the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Reviews of AI currently employed in criminal justice systems show evidence of bias and racism so severe that technologists are calling for them to be dismantled. Where the racism and bias comes in, I'm going to guess, is during the machine learning. Machine learning is a method in which the computer is learning based on the data that's being input into the system. So if the people that are inputting the information into the system show bias or racism in any form, the machine learns it. The artificial intelligence is learning racism and biasness from the input of the data. So I will leave a link for these two things. It's very interesting, but they absolutely positively are accepting cryptocurrency. But they want to be the people who control it. That's what you're going to find in here. But you can come in here and learn for yourself. I'll leave the link for both of these. So there's a company called AABB Gold Token. These are, of course, a gold-backed cryptocurrency, but a different type of gold-backed cryptocurrency. You see, the value of these tokens are based on the actual market value of gold. So each token, I believe, is worth 1/10 of a gram. Is that right? Yeah. AABBG is not a stable coin, but has the stable quality of a stable coin with a token price supported at 1/10 of a gram of the spot price of gold, which I don't like it being pegged to the spot price because we know it's manipulated. What's cool about this is like owning an ETF, except for you're not going to be swapping your paper for actual physical gold and silver that they won't have. This token would just be like owning gold, but in crypto holdings, and they go into a wallet. So as the value of gold goes up, so does the token. This might be a cool way to invest a small amount of money, somewhere around $10,000, $20,000 into these tokens now before the price of gold goes up, and just let it sit there and see what happens. I know some of you are going, I don't got that kind of money, Pimpy. No, I get that. But what I should have said was, maybe you add to it a little at a time, and then you get up around 20, 30,000, just leave it there and see what happens. It's something that I'm looking more into. It's something I think I'm going to play around with. I'll probably put maybe 10, 20,000 in there and just leave it there and see what happens, because I'm anticipating the value of gold and silver to go up. Therefore, these tokens should go up. So if you're interested in it, there's this link I'll leave here as well. It says, how do I purchase AABB gold? It explains to you how you go about purchasing it. I will also leave, there's a video on how to do it right here. So in conclusion, after reading some of these World Economic Forums, it's obvious they don't plan on getting rid of cryptocurrencies. If you read the article, what it more sounds like is they're not sure they can get rid of cryptocurrencies, to be more honest with you. And so they're forced to embrace it. What you're going to find in these articles is a lot of very interesting information. Right here, they go on to explain how it is they're going to push us into 100% digital currency. It's very interesting. They're taking the example of what Sweden has. They're 100% cashless. And how they're doing that is they just made their stores and made their banks stop dealing in cash altogether, period. Forcing everybody into the krona dollar. The e-krona, I believe is what it's called. So you can read about that in here, and you can tell this is going to be the blueprint for how they plan on forcing us into this. And we already did the test run. If you guys remember, the beginning stages of the Rona, stores were going, oh, we don't have cash right now. That was just a test run to see how it was going to be accepted and how it went. And all this is part of the 2030 agenda, because all of these things they want fully implemented by the year 2030. So come on over here and read these articles, and you're going to learn a whole lot about what's going on with the World Economic Forum. It's easy reading. It's not very hard. It's not very complicated. And I encourage you to do so because you should be aware of what it is they plan on doing and how they plan on implementing it. This one is called the Global Future Council on Financial and Monetary Systems. This one over here is called the Post-COVID Financial System, Global Future Council on Financial and Monetary Systems. Okay, these are the white papers. So look at, here it is, Vision 2030. I told you it's part of that Agenda 2030. I encourage you guys to come and read this because there's a lot of information in here that can at least give you an idea of what direction they're heading in, that's for sure. Anyways, you guys, that's it for now. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And you have a good day.